Good morning. I'd like to open the September 3rd, 2024, 9 a.m. revenue neutral rate hearing and special budget hearing. Please begin with roll call.
Richardson.
Here.
Garza.
Here.
Magers.
Here.
Goss.
Here.
Angela Richard, Director of Finance. You should have a revised agenda in front of you because things were out of order. So if we would like to open the public hearing.
I move to open the public hearing. Second.
Richardson.
Yes.
Garza.
Yes.
Magers.
Yes.
Goss.
Yes.
Okay, this public hearing is for the revenue neutral rate and our intent to exceed the revenue neutral rate. This part of the hearing should be limited to comments regarding the revenue neutral rate and the mill levy. We'll then have another public hearing to talk about individual budget items if there are any comments about that. The 2025 budget as presented today shows a level mill levy which exceeds the revenue neutral rate. In requirements with Senate Bill 13, in order to exceed the revenue neutral rate, we have to hold a public hearing. On your memo, you can see that the 2024 mill levy was 40.329. We are proposing in the 2025 budget to keep that level. The revenue neutral mill levy is 38.37. So I will open it to any public comments or any questions council may have.
I know we go over this every year, but we have done a hearing and we have voted to exceed the revenue neutral rate each year, even when we decide to stay revenue neutral. You said the rules have changed a little bit this year.
The rules have changed a little bit. It gives the county clerk the ability to limit our mill levy to revenue neutral in the case that the valuation changes between what they gave us in June and November 1st when that valuation becomes final. If that were to increase and we didn't do the revenue neutral rate hearing, then we would be exceeding revenue neutral rate, and then we would have the really bad penalty of figuring out how to repay every taxpayer the amount we exceeded revenue neutral. Now, the county clerk has more ability to limit that, but they still advise that we go ahead and do this even if we were going to be revenue neutral, just as a precaution.
Okay.
Any other questions before we open up to public comment?
No. Nope.
Is there anybody here who would like to speak to us in public comment?
Nobody? Anybody here to represent the retired people? Social Security?
Would you like to represent them? Is there anything
No,
you would like to say, or you?
Dementia, so I can't talk well.
Okay.
But I'm one of the people that has to live on $3,000 a month. My tax is now $363 and change that I gotta pay every damn month.
Okay.
just to
Would
live
you?
in my house.
Would you like to come and speak to the council? Please take the podium.
I'm sorry, I can't do it.
Okay.
I think we should at least open this up to continue this discussion this evening at this evening's city council meeting.
I agree.
I asked the state about doing that, and they advised not to.
Really?
Because we have to follow the proper procedures. If tonight we didn't have a quorum or something were to happen, we would violate the revenue neutral policy.
Okay, so you're advising not to table this and open it back up tonight?
Correct.
Okay, can we still hear from people on the topic this evening? Even after, if we adopt the budget in this meeting and we close this meeting, can we still hear from people?
Just be public comment.
Right, but that,
Anybody can say anything in public comment. It won't be an agenda item.
okay.
Well, I think we can play devil's advocate amongst ourselves on concerns we've heard from people at the very minimum. we can at least take 10 minutes to talk it out a little bit. I mean, we heard this gentleman that's concerned about people on fixed incomes. That's known. I've heard people complain that we are the highest or one of the highest city taxes in the state, and that's not true. We've done a lot of work over the last 2 to 3 years to try to trim things, and we're fighting inflation. We've been fighting inflation. If I remember right, and it's all online on our budgets. Every year's budget is on the city website, and it has a really nice, I don't want to say prologue, but the first 10, 20, 30 pages is all statistics year to year on what's been done. It's really easy to follow. If I remember correctly, if housing valuations remained the same every year, you'd actually be paying less taxes based on the cuts we've made, because we have been doing better than inflation on fighting it over the last 3 or 4 years. But at the same time, we've had to step up to the plate and make sure that we are paying appropriate wages. We are competing against other communities for resources. We're making sure that we're still providing the services we need to provide at a level that's acceptable. And when I say acceptable, I mean 50% of the people are going to say it's not good enough, and 50% of the people are going to say we're paying too much if we're doing our job correctly. It's very difficult to stay on top of a lot of things and still cut and make more cuts. That's why this year we're just keeping the mill levy the same, which forces our actual budget dollar amount to go up, when in the past we have either kept it the same or even lowered the mill levy. We've lowered the mill levy, I think, the last 3 years in a row for our portion of it. And we're extremely competitive against other communities in our area on our city mill levy. And when I say that, I mean there's some mill levies in the 70s and we're at the low 40s. There's always ways to make improvements, but I'm saying we need to be realistic about what is an issue and chase those rather than just making grand assumptions. And I'm talking too much. We need to discuss.
No, I
this.
agree. I agree with you. I think in reading the budget and reading some of the past budgets and just looking at the overall economic picture, landscape that we live in right now, something I heard on the radio the other day was that insurance rates in Kansas, homeowners insurance rates went up like 19%. And we're one of the highest because it's Kansas and literally every season happens in one day. So, our residents are burdened with that, but also our staff is burdened with that. And so part of our budget is taking into consideration, do we want to cut staff pay, cut their raises, cut their wages, fire people? All sorts of things are on the table when we're looking at the budget. I don't feel comfortable doing that because we're in a position where we need staff. We need to maintain and be able to recruit staff. But at the same time, we need to be cognizant that our residents had that same increase. So if we're making cuts in the sake of making cuts, I think protecting our staff is incredibly important. That's one of the cuts that I'm hoping that we don't make.
Well, and all the city council members are also taxpayers. Right. And it isn't going to line our pockets. It's actually costs us money to be on city council.
It does.
If you think about it. Yeah. And we have a couple people here. I would really enjoy hearing opinions. If we have this public hearing, we owe it to the community to discuss it.
Also, as a reminder, we're seeing a decrease in sales tax and franchise fees. We also have frozen positions.
Yeah. There's been a lot of things done by the staff and leadership to try to keep costs to a minimum without causing too much suffering for our community or lack of services. Where will our sales tax will be at, what, 8.25? Where will it be? We're at 8.6 now. Yeah. But it's getting ready to go
It
lower
drops.
because the sports arena is coming
It'll
out.
drop 0.35.
0.35.
Yeah, so the city portion will go from 1.1 to 0.75% October 1st.
So that puts our cumulative at 8.25%. Am I doing the math right? Yes. So we'll have an 8.25% sales tax for most of the city other than the CIDs. Correct. We're going to be at 40. Where do you say we were going to be at? We're keeping the mill levy the same as last year, so 40.3 something.
329.
40.329. McPherson in 23 was 53.8. Newton's at 72.3. Halstead's at 74.8. Heston's a little bit less than us. Mays is right a little bit more than us. Wichita's quite a bit less than us. Derby's at 46. Pratt's at 53. Lyons at 52. And Great Bend's at 46. So I'd say as a city, we're somewhat competitive. But a lot of our community needs to remember we're one piece of a greater puzzle that makes up the county, the school, and Hutch Rec and library are two of the smaller ones, but that's the majority function of your property tax dollar. I think that's enough to say.
We don't have enough employees now. We're way understaffed than we used to be. So, I mean, there's no way we can cut any more on the employees or the staff. So, in order for us to do a good job, our city employees now do a great job of what we have. So, if we cut any more, we can't do that in order to keep the services that we have. So, I agree with you. We're sitting pretty good. So,
and I understand that the gentleman that no one could hear on the microphone was concerned with people on a fixed income and how their property taxes are being affected. And we find ourselves in an interesting situation where over the last 2 or 3 years we've seen valuations on properties really go up quite a bit. And those appraisals, while it's lined out by the state on how that's done by our county. And it's this interesting situation where we want people to have more generational wealth and they want the values of the properties to go up, but at the same time, the cost to that is your appraisal goes up and the property tax associated with it. And it's a real balancing act. And unfortunately, people on fixed income don't have that adjustment factor quite as much as what we're able to adjust for. So I get the pain on that. I understand that. I just don't know, other than what programs we have been able to come up with and what we're looking at for programs to help with those situations, I don't know how to combat that and still get the tax dollars we need to do what needs to be done.
And for those on fixed incomes, some of that relief has to come from the state and from the federal government because they are relying on federal programs, for instance, Social Security and Medicare. So when the COLA for Social Security is adjusted up, but then Medicare costs go up also, it's a wash. And then, they're making adjustments on gas and groceries and taxes and insurance and all of that, utilities as well. So some of that's out of our control, but the programs that we do have control over that are in discussion right now, I think those will be a huge benefit because that will have a direct impact on our residents here on a fixed income.
And Enrico has tasked me with looking into some type of property tax rebate for senior citizens who own their homes. And unfortunately, I've been out for some personal reasons, so I haven't had as much of an opportunity to look into that as I would have liked to by now. But we will look into that for the 26 budget.
As well as utility billing assistance for seniors and et cetera.
There you go, Steve.
You're funny.
Any more discussion? I'd entertain a motion to close the public hearing. Oh, I'm sorry.
Hello, Esmeralda with Hutch and Harmony. I saw Councilmember Richardson looking over, just asking for discussion and just conversation. I am happy to throw a little curveball at you, a way to keep the public engaged and maybe knowledgeable of things that are going on. Part of that could include translating the website for the city of Hutchinson, or translating a couple of articles that are coming out about it, or just pages or posts regarding the city. That way, now that the city council meetings are moving to 5:30, it'll open it up for more people in our community to be a part of these discussions more. And I think, like with Hutch and Harmony, we're happy to support that, make this an ongoing discussion to make those translations possible. So that's all I've got.
Thank you.
I would move to close the public hearing.
I'll second that.
Yes.
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 Yes. Looking for a motion.
I'll move to approve a resolution of the City of Hutchinson, Kansas to levy a property tax rate exceeding the revenue neutral rate and authorize the mayor to sign.
I'll second that.
Yes.
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 I move to open the public hearing.
Second.
Yes.
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 Okay, this budget hearing will adopt the budget. And this is more of a general discussion of individual items if anybody has questions about them. The notice of the public hearing for the proposed 2025 budget was published in the Hutchinson News and was available on our website along with the proposed budget. The complete budget was published on our website. The budget meets all state requirements. And as we have said, we show a level mill levy in that budget. The budget also includes the Hutch Rec Commission, which has a level mill levy of 3.613. They have performed their procedures to exceed their revenue neutral rate. In addition, I wanted to mention that a change to the proposed budget was that based on sales tax trends, I did adjust some of those numbers. So now our ending 2025 balance is projected to be around 913,000. So just slightly higher, but still not at our goal for the GFOA and our policy. We should have closer to 7 million. As a reminder, on the state form, any ending cash balance is included in the expenditures. So I included a summary to reconcile what was in the proposed budget to what's on the state budget authority page because of the ending balances being included in there. So the budget cannot be increased beyond what was published. So staff recommends approval of the 2025 budget, and I'll open it to any comments.
So we can't increase the dollar amount that's on the budget, but there's still some wiggle room for the items that are built in. Is that correct? Until we vote on it today.
Oh, correct. Yes. Like if you wanted to change any items in the budget, you could at this point. We just can't exceed the expenditures that were published or increase the mill levy.
Right.
Thank you for your work on this.
You're welcome.
I don't have any questions on it right now.
I don't have any questions.
Is there anybody who would like to speak regarding this topic? Seeing none, I'm looking for a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second that. Yes.
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 Yes. Looking for a motion to approve the 2025 budget as published.
I move to approve the 2025 budget as published.
Second.
Yes.
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 I move to adjourn.
Second.
Yes.
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 Thank you.